Hey, this is Dr. Patrick Jones from the Homegrown Herbalist School of Botanical Medicine. And, have you ever had to make a decision? It's hard sometimes, isn't it? Should I get the cheeseburger or the bacon cheeseburger? A lot of options in the world. And neither of those are good choices, by the way. But, you know, the longer I use herbal medicines, the more I realize that those poor little rascals have a hard time making decisions too. And the fact is that herbal medicines can do a lot of things. Let me give you an example of a time that this was made very clear to me. This was years and years ago. I'm a veterinarian, been a practicing veterinarian for about 30 years. And years ago, I was working on a dog for a client, and she was an old dog. She had some arthritis and kind of gimping around, pretty sore all the time. And so I put together an herb formula for her, right? Had some anti-inflammatory stuff, some pain stuff, this and that, just to make her old joints work better. And a couple of weeks later, the lady came in and she said, "Oh, Doc, I just wanted to thank you for that formula that you gave for my girl. She feels so much better. She's moving around so much better." And I was just about to say, "Oh, you're welcome. That's fine." And she says, "And thanks for fixing the incontinence. I haven't had to clean up a piddle mess since she started taking the herbs." And I thought, oh. And I'd been working on this dog for urinary incontinence for a while with pharmaceuticals. We have some good drugs for that. Diethylstilbestrol and phenylpropanololamine, and there's things you can give dogs. And they were sort of working, it wasn't fixing it, but it was a lot better. But she still was having accidents often enough that you knew she had a problem. But as I was thinking about what the nice lady had said, I realized all of a sudden what had happened. The light bulb in my brain went bing, and I go, "Oh, sure." And it was the black cohosh. And, I had put black cohosh in the formula for pain. It's a good pain herb, does things in some different ways than some of the other guys. And I thought, oh, stir the pot a little bit, put some other things in there. And black cohosh, in addition to having some good pain relieving properties, also fixes urinary incontinence in little old lady dogs that have been spayed. Well, why is that? Well, it's because the bladder has two sphincter muscles. Okay, it has an internal sphincter and an external sphincter. The external sphincter is voluntary, but the internal sphincter is involuntary. And sometimes these older dogs have trouble with the internal sphincter working. And so when they're awake and they're walking around, they can keep the voluntary one closed and they don't piddle, right? They don't have accidents. But as soon as they lay down and go to sleep and relax the voluntary sphincter, the involuntary sphincter, the internal sphincter, is no good, and all the urine leaks out onto the floor. So they piddle while they're sleeping or while they're deeply resting. And the reason that happens is because that little muscle is an estrogen-dependent muscle. It has to have a certain level of estrogen, or it doesn't work. And we see that condition in older female spayed dogs, and it's not common. But most dogs are producing enough estrogen in other places that it doesn't matter if you take their ovaries out. But once in a while, you get one who's not doing that, and they have this problem. But black cohosh, in addition to being good for pain and half a dozen other things, it also has very high levels of estrogen-like phytochemicals, right? Plant chemicals that look a lot like estrogen and that the body perceives as estrogen. And so that little muscle, that little internal sphincter says, "Oh, great, I got enough estrogen. I guess I'll do my job." And so, we solved a problem in that dog without even meaning to, because of the diversity of the actions of that plant. I had another experience just lately that, and I've had this experience over and over the years, but on the school, in the Homegrown Herbalist School of Botanical Medicine, we have a student forum, okay? And it's fantastic, so fun. And we all just hang out there and we talk about plants and we talk about cases and we talk about, how the heck do I make this salve work better and this and that, just it's just fun. A lot of people really, really interested in learning and doing all kinds of projects and gardening and experimenting, and just it's an amazing, wonderful community. And anyway, one of the students a couple of weeks ago posted that she had made a formula for an elderly friend of hers, and it was just a nutritive tonic, and the little old lady started taking it, and she told this student of mine, "Oh, I love that formula. I feel, just more energy and I feel good," which is what we wanted, right? Or what the student wanted. And she says, "But my joints are so much better. I have this one knee that's been really bad and arthritic, and I just feel really great. I'm getting along lots better with that sore knee. It's just not sore anymore." So, this student said, "How the heck is that going on?" And she listed the herbs that are in the formula, and not a single one of those herbs is getting any press in the popular herb press that it's good for pain. But I happen to know, because I spend way too much time looking at research papers on phytochemistry, that every single one of those plants has really good, well documented by research, anti-inflammatory properties. They all have really good antioxidant levels. Most of them were good diuretics, right? So they're flushing out the blood and cleaning things up, which also decreases inflammation. And so, while they were nourishing this sweet little old lady, they were also sneaking around fixing inflammation problems without even asking, right? That's just how herbs are. They're very, very complex. It's not just a one-trick pony. If you think about pharmaceuticals, a pharmaceutical is one chemical, almost always. It's one chemical, right? Prozac has one chemical in it. Penicillin has one chemical in it. And herbs aren't like that. Herbs have dozens of chemicals. And it's sort of like that when you take an herbal medicine, it's this smorgasbord of medicinal actions. And your body just putters along the buffet and says, "Oh, that looks good. I'll have some of that. And oh, that looks nice. Oh, I do need some of that," right? And just takes whatever it needs from the herbs and solves all kinds of problems. The difference between a drug and an herb is like the difference between like a bugle player and an orchestra. And the bugle player is great. I mean, he can get you out of bed in the morning. He can get you to mount your steed and charge the Huns. Bugles are good for things. But he can't do anything like what the orchestra can do. If you walked up to a good orchestra, it could play anything you wanted. You could say, "Oh, I'm feeling like a little Mozart," and two violinists and a cellist and a violist scoot their chairs together and play this beautiful quartet thing from Mozart, And then one of the violinists stands up and rips into this amazing bluegrass tune. And then, the sax player starts doing a blues improvisation with the drummer and the bass. And, and then the pianist plays a ragtime tune from Joplin, and the whole thing finishes with a finale playing, some big march from John Philip Sousa. I mean, they can do anything. You think about the diversity of actions of all those instruments and all those players and all those abilities, and how they could be applied to 100 different scenarios to solve 100 different things and to communicate 100 different things to the audience, right? That's the difference. That's one of the real remarkable benefits of an herbal medicine, is that it's a package deal. You're getting a whole spectrum of offerings instead of just one. And researchers are starting to find that there are amazing chemicals in these plants. And in fact, a lot of our pharmaceuticals, historically and in modern times, have been either derived from or inspired by plant chemicals, right? They'll say, "Whoa, that's a great chemical in that plant," and then they pull it out and they turn it into a pill. And I hope that someday that modern medicine will figure out that pulling the bugle player out of the orchestra and putting him into a capsule isn't the best way to use the bugle player. The one who created these medicines knew what he was doing. And they are exquisitely beautiful, complex, wildly complex delivery systems for amazing medicines and healing properties. And, we can take one of them out and do great things with it, you know. Um, but I think we'd be wiser to just sit back and let the music play. Let the whole orchestra do what it wants to do. Let them work together, because a lot of the things in that plant are improving digestion, they're improving absorbability, they're enhancing function, they're working together in synergistic ways. They're eliminating side effects or minimizing side effects. They have this beautiful symphony that they offer us. And, we can use those plants to solve all kinds of things. And if we'll just listen to the music and let the body do what it wants, let the body take what it wants, and let the plants give it what they have, it'll solve all kinds of problems. And maybe even problems we didn't know we were working on. So I'm Dr. Patrick Jones from the Homegrown Herbalist School. Hope you have a great day. If you enjoyed this presentation, click the little like button, tell your friends about it. If you'd like really to learn on a deep level what medicinal plants can do for you and for your family, have a look at the Homegrown Herbalist School of Botanical Medicine. I think you'd really enjoy it. Have a great day.